His name was Adam, still dear friend to this day. I'm the godfather of his son. And as the story goes, Adam was not on the cover of Men's Health, although he could have been. He had the six-pack abs, the gleaming muscles, the confidence, the energy. All the girls loved him, which I really looked up to. And we decided to live together. And it took me about a few months, if I'm being very honest, which is like embarrassing to think about. But I finally mustered up enough courage to say, hey, Adam, can you show me a little bit about like what you do, how you lift weights, how you get fit? And Jim, he turned to me and said, Bryce, I can, but you've seen this at college. I had about a dozen guys that asked the same question without any follow through. So I will gladly teach you what I know on one condition, that you do everything that I say for 90 days. You follow me in the gym, you eat what I eat. And then after 90 days, if you're like, this is not for me, then off you go. But I want to show you what actually can be done. And that's the only condition. Wow. So I'm so glad he did that, because honestly, just like trying anything new, and especially like the theme of this podcast, saying yes, when you say yes, you're still going to have that buyer's remorse. You're going to have that self-doubt, because until you actually get results around what you're doing. And that first, month, 2 months was absolutely brutal. My muscles are sore. I mean, anyone who on your show or your audience members can relate to that experience trying something new, especially from a fitness perspective. But thankfully, what he did is he introduced me to lifting weights, to circuit training, to clean eating, to nutrition, but most importantly, to accountability. Because without him holding me accountable, Jim, I'd love to say that I would have been successful, but I just can't look you in the eye. And thankfully, basically, I followed him. After 90 days, I started to see a result. Was I completely where I wanted to be there? No. However, as Tony Robbins says, progress equals motivation. So it gave me enough motivation. Then basically the following 3 months, so about 6 months total, just rapidly transformed my physique, stripped away the 20 pounds of extra body fat, put on muscle. But as you and your audience knows, fitness does way more than that. It actually changed my life, became more energetic, enthusiastic, and really put a bow on it. Became from the worst sales rep in my company at the time, ended up within a 12-month clip becoming the best sales rep in the company at the time. All because of the foundation of fitness and me saying yes to the opportunity, even though it was tough.
Thank God you said yes to him, because Taco Bell corporate headquarters is in Irvine. You might have wound up there every day.
It is. And actually, ironically enough, I just passed it this morning on the way to work out. And nothing against Taco Bell, but certainly just not my cup of tea these days.
Not an everyday food. Matter of fact, we just got a Taco Bell here in my city in Montana. It's like, wow, Taco Bell's here. So we're a few years behind the times where I'm at. Well, it's awesome that your buddy took you under his wing to do that, because that's a hell of a commitment for him to train you for 90 days too. But look at the rewards. And I love that you just tied that into your success as a salesperson because of your fitness and your ability and the strength that you had overall as a person.
Oh, totally. And when I say, even to clients these days, when the client says, hey, I can't afford to, do the fitness program, my response is, you can't afford not to be on this fitness program, because it's just going to just change your life in so many ways. You're going to be a high producer. You're going to be a better family man or a family woman. You're going to be a better parent, spouse. It's just going to give you so many gifts, but you just got to have the courage to say yes and, do something good for yourself.
Yeah. So you've got this success as a salesperson. You're healthy now. What twists and turns took place after that? Because now it's starting to get exciting.
There you go. Well, so that all said, it was probably about 2 years my craft. This is actually the very beginning of 2007 is when I went through that 6-month transformation. But it wasn't about until 2009. It took those 2 years just to better myself as a person, get fit, dial in my salesmanship at the company. And I remember, Jim, going to the gym one time, and some person, this dude walks up to me and says, hey man, sorry to bug you, but how do you do that exercise? And I'm curious, how do you eat in terms of your nutrition program? And Jim, I stopped, because at that point, my identity hadn't fully caught up to being this fit guy, even though I'd gone through and I've been, was in the process of the journey. But that's really when a light bulb went off. And at the time, I didn't actually think I would make fitness my full-time career. However, I thought, okay, I could maybe become a certified personal trainer, do some training for people on the nights and weekends, and help out others just like Adam helped me. So that's what I did. I took the next logical step. I enrolled myself in the National Academy of Sports Medicine, which is the gold standard of personal training certification. And I got that, and then began training some clients on the nights and weekends. As it turns out, I think I updated my Facebook profile to certified personal trainer on Facebook. And then I started receiving ads from this gentleman named Bedros Keuilian, or B for short. And B is the founder of FitBody Bootcamp. And as it turned out, he's become a business partner of mine, one of my best friends and a mentor to this day. So I got on his email list and started paying attention to this thing called FitBody Bootcamp. But it was actually a 2-year period. I had taken a hiatus to South America. I lived in two years in Brazil. And that all in mind, and we can dive into that, I guess, at a later point. But in 2012, after I'd been certified, trained some clients in the nights and weekends, got a little taste for it, and then was exposed to this brand called FitBody Bootcamp. Earlier in 2012, I decided, you know what, this is actually something I want to do for a full time. It just moved me, right? Just being in the industry, helping people. So I ended up, paying a little bit more attention, put in the application, talked to the, dozen of owners at the time because the brand was very small. And as it turns out, even though I was scared, I was terrified, I was putting my life savings in the line, ended up in August of 2012 making a decision that absolutely changed my life, which was to, purchase in to be a franchise owner and open my first location, which just so happens to be in North Belinda, California, which is North Orange County. And really, that's where the momentum really started for my professional entry into fitness properly, aside from just doing some night and weekend stuff. And really, that was the domino that led me to opening, a handful of fitness locations, becoming the vice president of our franchise system 5 years later, and then now, being newly minted as the CEO of FitBody Bootcamp last year. All because, even though I was scared, I was terrified, but I had this burning desire, this passion to give back the gift of fitness, which was given to me, but all because I made that decision. And certainly, it wasn't easy. Not all blue skies and rainbows, because there was a lot of trials, tribulations, and learning lessons all the way, and still are to this day. But thank God I said yes to that opportunity in 2012, because that really laid the foundation for my career for the past decade.
I want to touch on that a little bit. If you're listening, you're not familiar with Orange County, it has to be the hub of health and fitness. I mean, there's no lack of fitness experts and healthy bodies where you started this business at with this new partner. Did you ever think about the competition or hey, am I going to be better than them because all these gyms are around me and everybody's going somewhere?
Oh man, great question. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. I was just filled with a lot of passion. That said, I did my research. I knew the data, the analytics. I was living on the beach, and Jim, obviously you grew up in Orange County. I lived in Newport, where you're from. I lived in Costa Mesa, Huntington, all beach cities for a period of about 5 years before that. So I knew that, by joining or, jumping in and launching a location, I wanted to go a little bit inland so I could have a little bit more focus. So we ended up opening in Yorba Linda. So I did the research. I knew the demographics, but honestly, it is the thick of it. And interestingly enough, people sometimes say like, oh, you're Orange County. That's a great opportunity for you to be fit. And we're a fitness program. And in some ways, yes, because there's a big conscious around it. But in many ways, no, because the competition of if you can make it in Orange County, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah.
So sometimes ignorance is a little bit of bliss, but it's all worked out, and just because a lot of hard work, determination, learning from failures, but more importantly, just having passion to serve.
Yeah, I often say if you're passionate about your business and you're an entrepreneur, put on your blinders. Focus on what you know how to do. Do it the best you possibly can. Be persistent of that pursuit, and you will find success. I think people look around too often and, oh, how come I'm not that person, or I'm not doing that well, and they forget about the actual art of doing the work themselves and getting there. Clearly, you've seen success in a very saturated market because certainly you've put in the hours and the time to make it successful.
Yeah, well, thank you for that, and I appreciate that. And I think that there is something very practical about having passion, because to your point, Jim, I mean, you can be woo-woo and say, oh, you got to have passion, which is a very standard cliche saying, but there's actually a very practical application for that. And actually, the late Steve Jobs first said this, and it really stuck, to me. The reason that you have to have passion is, as an entrepreneur, a lot of times it statistically, from a data perspective, does not make sense. The competition is there. It's real. There's a lot of forces that are outside your control that are really causing resistance to your vision. So from a practical perspective, you have to have so much passion, enthusiasm, and excitement towards the cause to overcome the bad days, because there's going to be more bad days than good. So I think there's just, extremely important takeaway for your audience that you can use that practically and apply it to your business to really grow your business and ultimately your life.
Yeah. So without making an assumption here, you're in the fitness business. do you have time to work out and be fit, or do you get to live the lifestyle and run the business?
Too, but it's interesting, Jim, in being in this industry now for 10 years and, becoming own transformation testimonial, if you will, then helping others, then launching a gym and basically seeing that play out. But then now sitting and overseeing our franchise as our CEO, now I'm able to coach other business owners, and I see kind of the strength, the weaknesses, the pitfalls. Interestingly enough, it's a very common theme, even though someone's fit when they come in, because of the hustle and bustle of getting the business off the ground. Sometimes even fitness professionals can actually lose their own fitness while putting their clients and their team first. Thankfully, I have a really rigid schedule. I'm a really routine guy, so I've always made fitness a priority. Sometimes to my own demise, I'm up at 3:45 to make sure I get my workout in. It's that important to me. So thankfully, I haven't succumbed to that. However, to your point, it actually is very common, especially with my view on the industry for the last 3 years.
Yeah, it's funny you say to your own demise, you're up at 4 a.m. To me, it almost seems like a normal time to get up and go work out. If you're serious about your health and being successful and all those other things, sometimes that's what it takes, and it becomes a routine if you get into it for a little bit. So it's interesting to hear other people's routines.
Yeah, and probably to my own demise was not the best framing on that. It's just what I mean by that is just like I'm just so dedicated because it's had such a big impact on me that I'm willing to prioritize it, which, again, for your audience there, you got to figure out what's most important. What do you value? And then prioritize that. Otherwise, the hustle and bustle of life can get in the way.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big fan of the 75 Hard program that Andy Frisella put out. And, a lot of my clients get on that program at my suggestion and like, wow, it's really hard to get these 2 workouts in with a gap of time in between. It's like, well, how bad do you want it? This is teaching discipline and ways of functioning through a schedule where you're committed to several items, not just health and working out, but reading a book and all these other things. And what people find is if they schedule it, they're more likely to make it happen. So if you can schedule that 5 a.m. workout because you've got to get ready for work at 6, you can easily get a little meditation in, get a good 20, 25-minute workout in, some cardio or something, eat a healthy breakfast, and then start your day at 6. And you've just gained a whole hour of health, not to mention you're going to be stronger, during the day and be a better person for business and your colleagues. So I love talking about schedules and how you make these things work.
Totally. It's about prioritization, to your point, putting on calendar. And for me, it's interesting. I just had this call and, outwardly I have a lot of success, successful gym owner, the CEO of our, brand, which is an eight-figure brand. However, I drive a 10-year-old car and it's a 2012 GTI, has 186,000 miles on it. I keep it really cleanly. It's clean. It's in good condition. But I was actually asked the other day, like, hey, Bryce, with all this success, the CEO, like, why do you drive that car? Why don't you drive like something new off the lot? And there's nothing wrong with a new car because eventually I'm going to get a new car as well. But Jim, I think for me, it's actually what I value. Like, I'd rather invest more in my health, my fitness, my business, my clients to grow that. In car, for me, it's like A to B. Yes, I have it clean. I have it, taken care of. But really, it's about what you value, what you prioritize, which is really the takeaway for me and for your audience.
Yeah, good car, by the way.
Thank you.
Hey, you've mentioned that the business as a franchise, FitBody Bootcamp is a franchise. You want to talk about that for a minute and what the opportunities are out there for people that might want to get into this industry?
Yeah, no, I love it. Certainly, COVID has not been kind. However, it's really, really exciting just to see the momentum and the pent-up demand and need, that now that hopefully we're almost at the final stages of COVID here, kind of things opening up and things, getting good again. We have our franchise is based in Southern California. We have hundreds of locations spread out around North America, predominantly in the States, about 90%. We have about 10% of our locations in Canada. And really what we do is we will provide like a business in a box to owners that are interested in, driving change in their community, having a big impact and making a very, very lucrative, income and livelihood for themselves. So, definitely we're always looking for partners. Specifically, the 2 elements that we really look for that we find are the best FitBody Bootcamp owners are the ones who are coachable, that, can take coaching because the business model is there, but can you take and implement? And ultimately all of our owners have a specific business coach assigned to them. And the second thing, and this sounds basic, what we talked about is passion. While it's a business in the box and we have all the systems, the operations and the tools to be successful, being that personal training outside side compared to different industries is very different. It's personal. So it's about relationship building and all that. And people can sense if you're really passionate about something or not. And because of the competition, especially in Orange County, but just any industry has competition. Every market does. So the owners that really do best are the ones who have passion and ultimately are coachable.
I see the fitness industry really taking off, maybe more than it ever has,